Coordinates: 24 degrees 39.5 S, 25 degrees 54.5 A, 24.6583 degrees south, 25.9083 degrees east, minus 24.6583. 25.9083 Botswana. Officially, the Republic of Botswana is a landlocked country in southern Africa. Botswana is topographically flat, with up to 70% of its territory being the Kalahari Desert. It is bordered by South Africa to the south and southeast, Namibia to the west and north, and Zimbabwe to the northeast. Its border with Zambia to the north near Kazungula is poorly defined, due to being in the midst of the Zambezi River. This border with Zambia is, at most, a few hundred meters long. A mid-sized country of slightly over 2.3 million people, it is one of the most sparsely populated countries in the world. About 11.6% of the population lives in the capital and largest city, Gaborone, formerly one of the world's poorest countries, with a GDP per capita of about $70 per year in the late 1960s. Botswana has since transformed itself into an upper-middle-income country, with one of the world's fastest-growing economies. Homo sapiens had first inhabited the country over 200,000 years ago. The Shona ethnic group were descended mainly from Bantu-speaking tribes who migrated southward of Africa to modern Botswana around 600 AD, living in tribal enclaves as farmers and herders. In 1885, the British colonized the area and declared a protectorate under the name of Bechuanaland. As decolonization occurred, Bechuanaland became an independent Commonwealth Republic under its current name on 30 September 1966. Since then, it has been a representative republic, with a consistent record of uninterrupted democratic elections and the lowest perceived corruption ranking in Africa since at least 1998. The economy is dominated by mining, cattle, and tourism. Botswana has a GDP per capita of about $18,825 per year as of 2015. One of the highest in Africa. Its high gross national income gives the country a relatively high standard of living and the highest Human Development Index of continental sub-Saharan Africa. Botswana is a member of the African Union, the Southern African Development Community, the Commonwealth of Nations, and the United Nations. The country has been adversely affected by the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Despite the success in programs to make treatments available and to educate the populace about how to stop the spread of HIV/AIDS, the number of people with AIDS rose from 290,000 in 2005 to 320,000 in 2013. 820 as of 2014. Botswana has the third highest prevalence rate for HIV/AIDS, with roughly 20% of the population infected. The country's name means, Land of the Shona, referring to the dominant ethnic group in Botswana. The term Botswana was originally applied to the Shona, which is still the case. However, it has also come to be used generally as a demonym for all citizens of Botswana. Many English dictionaries also include Botswanan to refer to people of Botswana, though that term is rarely used in the country. Archaeological digs have shown that hominids have lived in Botswana for around 2 million years. Stone tools and fauna remains have shown that all areas of the country were inhabited at least 400,000 years ago. In October 2019, researchers reported that Botswana was the birthplace of all modern humans about 200,000 years ago. Evidence left by modern humans such as cave paintings are about 73,000 years old. The original inhabitants of southern Africa were the Bushman and Khoi peoples. Both speak Khoisan languages and hunted, gathered, and traded over long distances. When cattle were first introduced about 2,000 years ago into southern Africa, pastoralism became a major feature of the economy. Since the region had large grasslands free of tsetse fly, it is unclear when Bantu-speaking peoples first moved into the country from the north. Although AD 600 seems to be a consensus estimate, in that era, the ancestors of the modern-day Kalanga moved into what is now the northeastern areas of the country. These Proto-Kalanga were closely connected to states in Zimbabwe as well as to the Mapungub state. And the notable of these was Domboshba ruins, which is a cultural and heritage site in Botswana. Originally occupied towards the end of the Great Zimbabwe period with stone walls that have an average height of 1.8 meters. The site is a respected place for the people living in the region, and it is believed that the chief lived on the top of the hill together with his helpers or assistants. These states, located outside of current Botswana's borders, appear to have kept massive cattle herds in what is now the Central District, apparently at numbers approaching modern cattle density. This massive cattle-raising complex prospered until 1300 AD or so, and seems to have regressed following the collapse of Mapungub. During this era, the first Shona-speaking groups, the Bakalagadi, moved into the southern areas of the Kalahari. All these various peoples were connected to trade routes that ran via the Limpopo River to the Indian Ocean.